What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Grayson here from PokeProfit. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the predictability in the Pokemon hobby and why I think that is such an underrated thing when it comes to investing into Pokemon over other games like One Piece or Magic. We're also going to look at 151 a little bit more in depth and kind of just do a fun exercise looking at how many packs worldwide have maybe been opened to get the population counts that we do have on some of those SIRs. But before we get to that, couple things. First off, Prismatic. It's funny because a lot of people who maybe 6 months ago were very critical of Prismatic, said that everything was going to MSRP, they're starting to change their tones. They're starting to warm up to the idea that maybe Prismatic is actually going to be an S-tier investment from the SV era. Unsurprisingly, the set is absolutely stacked. And I think just the general consumers who are buying these products are starting to warm up to that idea as well. You can see that after 2025, all that reprinting, we're starting to see prices come back up. The booster bundles were down to around, I don't know, $60 late last year, $55. We're back to around 60 on TCG Player. The ETBs, we dipped to around $110 there in the middle of December. We're now back to around $125 on TCG Player. The one thing I'll say about the regular ETBs, if you guys are in the spreadsheet, they're selling at an incredible rate still, something we haven't seen since I'd say probably late summer, maybe going into September. And like I've been saying for about a year now at this point, if they don't print more ETBs, if they don't print more booster bundles, these are going to run up very quickly. You'll see that they'll jump from about $125 to within the blink of an eye, maybe it's a year from now, 2 years, they're probably going to be double this, if not more. The demand is still there for Prismatic. It's still an absolutely stacked set. That is undeniable. One thing I did want to share with you guys, though, about the Umbreon EX, which is down to around $950 now. It was actually down to around $800 to start the year. Now back to around $950 on TCG Player. The PSA 10 pop here is really interesting. 3,953. Total population is 12,262. That's only a 32.24% PSA 10 rate on this card. Not as high as a lot of the other SV cards and some Sword and Shield cards. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is Phantasmal Flames. This box is sitting around $235, but the really interesting thing here, I think, is the Mega Charizard XEX cards, whether it's the SIR or the Mega Hyper Rare, the gold card. I'm just going to call it the gold card. It's a lot easier to say. When we look at the PSA 10 pops here, the SIR is up to 2,027 PSA 10s, and the total population is 2,826. That is a 71.73% PSA 10 rate. That is fairly high for an SIR. And then also the gold card, the MHR, 204 PSA 10s, total population 940. That's only a 21.7% PSA 10 rate. I think that's very interesting and something that maybe some investors are going to make a play on in the future. The other thing is that even though the SIR, in my opinion, is the best Charizard artwork of all time, I mean, the artwork is phenomenal. I love the colors. I love how it incorporates all the evolutions into it. But even though it's the best artwork, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people, because it has an over 70% PSA 10 rate, that is definitely going to limit just how expensive the ungraded copy can get. And that in turn probably is going to limit just how far these Phantasmal Flames boxes can run in the future. And I'm thinking like 5 to 10 years out at this point. And maybe the PSA 10 rate comes down over time. This gets closer to like 60 or 50. Who knows, right? Like if Pokemon does a really bad print run and the quality of the cards comes down, that could be possible, I guess. Who knows, maybe a lot of this is just sample size at this point. We're going to have to wait to see when it hits 10,000 or 15,000 what that number's looking like. There are things that could lower it, so that is something you should keep in the back of your head. Now, before we get into 151 and the data, I did just want to jump in here and say, if you guys are enjoying the content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below that's really goofy. I think it's kind of funny to see those sometimes, and also it helps push the video out to more people. Also, if you guys are interested, I have links to my market spreadsheet there covering Pokemon and One Piece, and then links to my consultation calls if you guys are looking to take your TCG investing more seriously in 2026. And then also, mentorship program will be opening back up on January 21st for anyone who's interested. Now, getting into 151, we talked about the booster bundles the other day. Not really too much to say here. They're getting close to all-time highs again, maybe only a couple dollars off at this point. The math that I want to share with you guys today is based on the special illustration rares of this set. So you have the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Zapdos, and then the Alakazam, and then I believe it's just Erica's Invitation and Giovanni's Charisma. I think that's all of them. And yeah, seven total SIRs in this set. Now, obviously people are going to argue about some of these numbers that I'm using. Some of these you can't argue though. The PSA pops are set in stone. The pull rate data, I took this from TCG Player over here. They put this out based on 1,500 packs, which is a fairly small sample size. I think most people would agree though, the pull rate on a specific SIR is probably 1 in 225. So that's just what I use. I don't think that's super contentious either. The estimated amount of cards that have been graded is definitely where people would argue either higher or lower. So for example, I used 33% on the Charizard just because I don't think it's as high as 50%. You could probably say that half of all, let's say, the Moonbreons are being graded because that's a very expensive card. But the ungraded copy of the Charizard's what, $230, something like that currently at $250. There's going to be a lot of people who just don't want to grade a card that's only worth $250. Whereas if a card's worth 2K, you get a 10, it's up to like 3K or whatever. There's probably more incentive to do that. So I used 33% on the Charizard. Blastoise and Venusaur, I used 25%. So about 1 in 4 cards actually get graded. And then for all the other ones like the Zapdos, Alakazam, Erica's Invitation, and Giovanni's Charisma, I used 10%. So 1 in 10 cards get graded. Realistically though, it's probably a lot lower for something like the Erica's Invitation or Giovanni's Charisma, just because these are only like $10, $15 cards, whereas something like Alakazam and then also the Zapdos, these are $60, $50 in that range. So you can definitely play with the numbers a little bit and see what happens, and it will ultimately affect the outcome. But if we're just looking at how many packs have actually needed to be opened to get these population reports, and then if we're using this amount, 33%, 25%, 10%, as the estimated amount of cards that actually get graded, we can extrapolate that out to the total population in circulation in the entire world right now, graded and ungraded. And this means that there would be about 57,594,000 packs that needed to be opened just to pull all the Charizards. And then for Blastoise, Venusaur, 46.7 million, approximately 41.8 million. Zapdos, 27.75 million, 22.8 million for Alakazam. Erica, 35 million. Giovanni, 25. That gives you a total of 257,628,600 packs. You multiply that by 10 to get the amount of cards. We're talking about almost 2.6 billion cards just to pull these special illustration rares out of 151. And again, you can change these numbers a lot. If you think that 50% of the Charizards have been graded or 70%, that's definitely going to affect this total number. But this is just a really fun exercise that you can run on your own if you are dubious about the amount of sealed product that's still out there. If you genuinely believe that everybody's hoarding sealed product, all this stuff's going to be worthless, we're not going to see great appreciation on it, go through this with your own numbers, whether you even want to do 50% estimated grades on some of the top cards. Like, that's fine. Don't stop at just the SIRs, include the illustration rares, include the hyper rares, ultra rares, whatever. Obviously, the exact numbers would be a little bit more nuanced because you'd have some level of overlap between cards that got regraded and cards that weren't. But I think that if you included Ace Grading, CGC, all these other companies, that would probably account for a higher population than the amount that actually get regraded. That's just my opinion. And then also, for example, in 151, you did have demigod packs. So there would be a little bit of overlap between the Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard, for example. But if you go through all of those, you do this, you add up the numbers, you get to the exact amount of cards that have been opened in theory, you start to realize that there just cannot be that much left out there. And obviously there's still billions of cards, right? But comparatively to how much Pokemon has actually printed, there just can't be that much. And the other beautiful thing about this is there is some level of predictability to this because the PSA pops continue going up. So you can just track those populations. plug in the new numbers every single week, month, year, whatever you want to do, and you'll see that increase and you'll get an idea of just how fast we are churning through every single product. But of course, you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.